Solutions journalism refers to stories that center responses to problems instead of focusing on the problems themselves.
It's helpful that I was learning and I was in the class with Sharon while I was writing my story. Otherwise, I felt like I would have been a little bit more lost. So that was definitely helpful. I learned a lot about how the story structure is. It's definitely different in how you tell the story, what questions you're asking during the interview process. That's something that I really struggle with, is really getting into well, how does this happen and how are you doing it so that people can replicate it? That was something that I felt like I was really running into, as well as kind of just taking on the sensitivity of a lot of the things that we're working with. It's a mental health issue, so it's very personal to a lot of people, and people are trusting us with their story. So that was a lot of like the sensitivity and going in and dealing with such tough situations and talking to people that were really in it was definitely a struggle, but it turned out in the end because the issue is great. So.
And I really loved the process of making the story because I got to speak with students of backgrounds that I was very unfamiliar with, and they had stories and internal conflicts to speak about that was really insightful. And the solutions aspect of the story comes in when I was talking to the center in Halstead, which is a center that offers a ton of resources for any age really of the LGBTQ+ community. And they specifically offer a religious trauma group. So anyone that comes in suffering from symptoms of religious trauma, and even if it's not so serious as trauma, but any internal conflict that they're having, they offer a lot of resources to kind of help them with that. And so it was really interesting for me to see that something so generous was being done to help so many people. And that center is not exclusive to Columbia students, but it's open to them, it's open to anybody in the Chicago community. And yeah, as a whole, it was a really good experience, and I learned a lot writing it.
I hope that from mostly my research, students are hesitant to do these services on campus, and I hope that by reading the article, the story that I wrote, especially to people who belong to a certain culture, I hope that it gives clarity to them about what services are offered, about what Columbia is doing, or what are the steps that Columbia are taking to make the effort of making a more inclusive mental health services, a culturally responsive and culturally competent service.